Good day. Glad to see you this morning or this afternoon or whenever you're watching this devotional. I've been reading through the scriptures this year, and right now I'm in the book of Acts. And I just read this morning, and every time I read this section of scripture, it just really impresses me with the Apostle Paul. The Apostle Paul is on his third missionary journey, and the Lord has directed him to return to Jerusalem. But all along the way, God also sends messengers to Paul to let him know that when he arrives in Jerusalem, things aren't going to go well for him. He's going to be arrested, and he's going to be imprisoned. And he doesn't know all the details, but he knows that on his return to Jerusalem, things are not going to go well for him personally. Nevertheless, he obediently follows the Lord, and he and his traveling companions leave Greece, and they head toward Jerusalem. They get on a ship and they arrive at Troas, which is just on the tip of Turkey today. And they arrived there. They took care of some things, and Troas was a very prosperous city. Lots going on, lots of opportunities for ministry for Paul. When it came time that the ship had to leave that they were traveling on, Paul sent all of his traveling companions onto the ship and sent them to Assos, which by sea would be about 50 miles. But by land, as Paul intended to walk, there was about 21, 22 miles. And it was a Roman road. It was a very good road, and he would have been able to make good time. I've always asked myself, why did Paul do that? Why did Paul put everybody on the ship and then by himself turn and get on that Roman road and walk from Troas to Assos, where the ship was going to pick up, had to make another port of call, and where he would rejoin the ship. And the trees would have been in full foliage at that time. It would have been a beautiful walk. It's a gorgeous area. And I just wonder if that wasn't time that Paul knew, like Jesus going to the Garden of Gethsemane or going up on the mountain to pray before he chose his disciples. Paul knew there was a spiritual trial ahead of him. And so he chose to go by himself, to walk on that road, time by himself with the Lord. It's quiet. No one's talking to him. He's able to walk along with his own thoughts and look at nature, watch the trees and the wildlife, and other people walk is a well-traveled road. And just taking time to get with the Lord, 10, 12 hours that was going to take him to walk from Troas to Assos, depending on where he stopped along the way. And to me, that's wisdom. Here's a very busy man, and he knows that pressures are going to mount. There's lots of demand for his time, but he decides to walk on that road by himself. And I think, like Jesus did at times during his very busy ministry, there really is a biblical precedence for getting apart and spending some time by ourselves, praying, seeking the face of the Lord, getting our spiritual batteries recharged, being out in nature, trees, birds, wildlife, spending time just thinking about what God would have us to do next, or arming ourselves with spiritual strength to move through whatever is ahead of us. And I think that when we're facing a trial, we've been told about a physical illness or the loss of a loved one, or there are many, many very traumatic things that can happen to us. A loved one with COVID. Taking time to prepare for the spiritual rigors ahead is a very wise thing. And I just wanted to encourage you today. I know in my own life that that's a challenge for me to take time to get by myself and to pray and to just contemplate what God would have me to do in a certain situation, or just getting refreshed spiritually so that then I can refresh others spiritually. So I would encourage you in these days as we, here we are a couple of Sundays away from Easter week, and things are just moving along pell-mell. We don't know whether we'll be able to get back into the ballroom this season or not. We hope so, but there's a lot of unknowns. And in this time of all this turmoil going on around us, let's take time. And maybe today it can only be 5 minutes that you just take time, go sit by yourself with your scriptures or a hymn book, and spend time with the Lord, just letting him pour His strength into you to calm your mind, calm your heart, and to refocus your spiritual energies. Whether it's 5 minutes today, maybe an hour on the weekend, and maybe along the way a day. To take a day and go walk in nature and spend some time really getting with the Lord and letting Him speak to you and refresh you. I think that's one of the most helpful things that we can do, no matter how busy we may be, taking time to get away and be with the Lord. So I want to encourage you with that this week, and that you make sure that you're spending some time for yourself and the Lord, and some time out in nature to just physically refresh and push aside the urgency of the world around us, and focus on the really important things, which are the the eternal things, the godly things. And so God bless you as you go through this week. I hope it's not too busy, and we'll see you on Sunday, either virtually or live. You take care.